I'm using a better microphone now. And potentially a better camera. My phone is supposed to shoot in 1080p, but it's cracked and broken, and also I think it just sucks. So I'm using my webcam, which only records at 720p, but I turned down the brightness and fussed around. Oh god, should I just not wear my... It's fucking annoying. I changed around the lights and stuff, and I think it actually looks okay. Not good, but it's what we have to work with. I haven't really decided what I want to talk about. I have some ideas floating around. So, let me take a moment to decide. I cannot look away from my own dark circles. It's absolutely crazy. I don't think they're ever going away. I used a new concealer today. No foundation. It's like the Revlon Photo Ready something. Everybody says it's really good and it's cheap, so I bought it off eBay. It's pretty good. Maybe I just didn't... Maybe if I use more, it'll cancel them out. Anyway, I think I want to talk about what having a career on the internet is like for people, for the people on the outside looking in, and then the actual people who work on YouTube or Twitch, because it's interesting. When you start watching YouTube or Twitch, and you start watching people who literally, that is their job. They don't have a day job, and even if they do, a lot of times they make more money on Twitch or YouTube than they make at that job. I feel like it's very easy to be envious of them and resent them for how easy they have it, and definitely on some level I think that's valid. I mean, there are people getting paid millions of dollars to just put on their makeup. That's insane. I guess I do question how fulfilling that is to do, but that's not really what I've been thinking about. I just rewatched that Lindsay Ellis video about authenticity and how places like YouTube really capitalize on either manufactured or genuine authenticity in creators. And it's 100% true. Honestly, Twitch is weird because I think there are some people that really, they have a persona when they're on stream that, maybe they're a little more excited about things, maybe they're more talkative than they are in real life, maybe it's like a total character. Like, I have to wonder if someone like XQC is really like that in real life. But I also follow some people on there who are just totally and completely themselves, like who they are on the cameras, who they are on and offline. And I think a lot of that stems from the fact that if you stream like 8 to 12 hours a day, it would be absolutely exhausting to try to be someone that you're not. And if people are willing to just accept whatever you can give them, then that's a lot less effort. And I have tried to stream on Twitch. I mean, I enjoy it. I like talking to people in chat. I like playing games. But I am exhausted after just like 2 hours. It is draining for me somehow, and I don't know. I mean, I think other people have similar experiences, and then it really does, you have to build up stamina to be on camera for that long. Also just playing games for 10 hours and keeping up with chat. I mean, it's an online social interaction, but it's still a social interaction. And I actually think it is incredibly difficult to be a Twitch streamer full time, because you do it every single day. Maybe an occasional day off, but every day without fail you are getting on stream for hours and hours, and that is your job. And I didn't realize how hard. I mean, I definitely had thoughts of like, wow, it would be really nice to just get paid to play video games, but now I would not want to do that, and I don't think I'm ever going to have a career on the internet, which is fine, and I want to do computer science, and that's the path I'm going to go down. But even if I had the opportunity, I don't think I would want that. Part of it stems from me being kind of picky about, maybe this will come off as like entitled or something, but especially on Twitch, you're expected to interact with chat. You know, anyone who comes into chat and says, hey, like, you are going to reply to them. And if someone came into my community and they liked my stream and I was talking with them and they become a regular, let's say, and then they start like saying some stuff that maybe I don't agree with, or they start acting in a way that I don't like, it kind of scares me to think about the fact that maybe I wouldn't want to like call them out on it, or I wouldn't be able to say, hey, like, don't do that, mods ban that person. Because you have to build a relationship with your viewers in order to get them to come back and have a viewership and have people that are going to support you. And that's kind of scary to me. YouTube, on the other hand, I do, in a way, side with some of the people that say, like, all these people do is, like, sit down and record a video and then maybe do a couple hours of editing and then they put it up and there's the money. And while I think you do have to foster a community, it's not as, like, one-on-one as a Twitch stream is. I mean, even people with 1,000 viewers at a time on Twitch, like, are constantly looking at chat and constantly answering questions and responding to things that people say, and it's a lot more personal, which I think is good and bad. And on YouTube, you know, if you especially smaller creators, like, respond to comments, like comments, and if they have presences on Twitter and other social media, they can also connect with their viewers that way. But it is a little bit more impersonal, and it's more the viewers building a relationship with you than the other way around, in my opinion. Especially once you start to get bigger and have more and more views, and there's no possible way that you can keep up with all the comments and everything that's happening like that. So, but what Lindsay kind of touches on in her video is that if you film a YouTube video and you find yourself acting a certain way that's maybe not exactly how you act in real life, and it might not even be a conscious decision, there's a kind of emotional burnout from that. That can happen more than just like the burnout of overworking and putting up a video every single day and having to edit that, which is what the YouTube algorithm kind of pushes people to do, to be consistent with their uploads so that they can get recommended and everything like that. But yeah, the emotional part of being someone that you're not online so that other people will relate to you more or just like you more, or I mean, some people put on really outlandish and ridiculous personalities so that people will just talk about them, whether it's negative or positive. There are a lot of examples like that, and especially that works on, like, children. To see someone like Jake Paul, like, shouting and being an idiot, and, you know, I don't know if that's his real persona in person. I don't know if he's really like that. I would hope not. But I can definitely see how you might even feel like your real personality, you might start to think that your real life personality is less than the person that you are on camera. And, you know, if you're doing vlogs and stuff, you can edit the vlogs to kind of turn yourself into, like, the best version of yourself, which doesn't sound bad, but if you start to kind of almost, like, idolize that version of yourself, yeah, that could be problematic to your mental health. Okay, took a break to go for a walk. It was very nice. I left my heater on. It's really fucking hot in here now. Anyway, I want to finish this video up, so I had like 3 thoughts while I was walking that I would like to touch on. First of all, I was wondering, like, when the authenticity starts to go away for YouTubers, because I think that the vast majority, especially the ones that started making videos back when YouTube was not very popular, I think they started it being very authentic, and you can kind of see that when you look at their older videos. And then some of them, there are exceptions, some of them will kind of keep their authenticity and relatability, which is another thing that I'd like to talk about. Some of them keep it as their channels grow and they start to actually make money and treat it more as a job, but a lot of them don't. Or at the very least, viewers notice that the persona that they have when their channels are really big might be a little different than when they started. And I have to wonder when that starts to happen, and I thought about maybe partially it might have to do with you get into a kind of what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? You get into a rhythm of making your videos. So you say, a lot of YouTubers have like greetings that they say and ending things that they say, asking for likes and subscribers, which is something that I find very funny because I don't really think it works. Anyway, not the point. But I think in that moment, before you turn on the camera and then say, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, I think you start to feel like a shift between your before non-filming time, and then once you start filming, you change a little bit, and maybe some parts in your video are scripted, or it becomes a little more organized, and you kind of fall into a pattern that might actually you might just start to take on a slightly different personality and way of talking or way of presenting things. In a way, you know, there's a lot of talk about parasocial relationships and whether they're good or bad, and how a lot of viewers tend to see the YouTuber that they like as a friend. And honestly, I think that a lot of YouTubers also kind of see their viewers as friends. Obviously, it's a very different dynamic for them, but I almost wonder if they start to act differently because they are talking to their YouTube audience, and in the same way that you might change when you're talking to this friend versus a different friend, maybe it's kind of like that, and it's less like losing authenticity, but more just, you know, now I'm talking to my YouTube friends. Some people might even feel like when they're on video, that's when they're the most real. So I think all of that is very interesting to think about, and it probably varies from creator to creator. But yeah, let me check my notes. Oh yeah. Another thing I thought about was, as your channel gets bigger and bigger, you have more people commenting and more viewers, and you will end up getting requests for certain types of content. And along with the requests, also, people are just going to be voting with their views for the kind of content that they want to see. So if you make an unboxing video, those tend to get a lot of views. And then maybe you post like a cooking video or something, or like what I eat in a day. Maybe that doesn't get as many views. And I've heard a lot of creators say that sometimes they'll be criticized for a specific type of content that they're making, but they're like, this type of content gets views, and another type of content that I do that you're asking for doesn't get as many views. So it doesn't really seem like, the majority of people agree with that criticism. But I think it's kind of dangerous when you think about only doing the kind of content that people are requesting or that get the most views. Not because I feel like it's necessarily greedy. I mean, it can be, because views equals income, but I think you might be pushed as a creator into making content that you don't really want to make as much as some other content. And that might increase the feeling of disconnect from what you'd really like to do as a real person and as a content creator, and then your YouTube persona and like the content that you're making for other people. And I think when you start making content kind of only with other people's desires in mind, I imagine that I think there have been a lot of YouTubers who they will have a slight shift in their content, or they'll be like, today I'm doing something different because I just wanted to, and I didn't like the monotonous feeling of the other thing that I was doing. I think there are a lot of instances like that, and I think it's probably healthy. And I think the third thing I was wondering about is whether the loss of authenticity kind of goes up in proportion to relatability. Obviously, as your channel grows and you start to make more money, the loss of relatability is really pretty intricately tied to the money that you're making on Twitch and on YouTube. It depends on how much you show the money that you're making. Even just people getting sponsorships, I'm not saying any of this is bad necessarily, but even just people getting sponsored by certain companies or getting PR, getting products sent to them, things like that can form a bit of a wall between you and the viewers. And if the production quality of your videos are going to go up as you are able to buy a better camera, buy a better microphone, maybe hire an editor or an assistant. But on a bigger scale, once you start buying houses, buying Gucci, buying anything that you want, and kind of showing that in your videos, I think people perceive that. It's definitely a loss of relatability, but I think viewers can perceive that as also being inauthentic because they're like, you're not the same person that I subscribe to. And I agree that if you're flaunting your wealth, I could talk forever about whether that's a good or bad thing, but I think at the very least, it indicates not all, but some of your values. And so I think that viewers are kind of like, when I started watching you, like, I didn't think you cared about those things, and now it seems like you do care about those things. And in reality, maybe the creator always cared about material things, and they just weren't able to show it as easily as they are now that they have money. But I do kind of think that relatability and authenticity can go hand in hand. Anyway, I almost didn't really answer my own questions, but again, I just wanted to talk about things and see where my mind went, and I did that. I was thinking about doing a time lapse of me cleaning my room just for some, and talking over that or putting my voice over that, just for some more, I don't know, to add interest, but that would require me actually cleaning my room. So, yeah, that's it. I was excited that my last video got a comment from someone and we talked a little bit about art and how we both feel about it, and it was exciting. So thank you for doing that. And I really, really enjoy hearing other people's opinions about this kind of thing. Although I'm really making these videos for myself more, but I am putting them on the internet, so I wouldn't mind if somebody talked back to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks.